for Christ, Call to Holiness, International Leaders Conference.
My company will turn 30 years this year. And I've been practicing as an architect in the past 40 years.
You created us in your image and likeness. And so you call us to be holy, as you are holy. And it was as if God was trying to reintroduce himself to the community of who he truly is, of how holy, of how loving, of how kind, of how good our Lord is. This is the song, our CFC song, Who is Like Me. So good, so kind, so merciful, so just, so pure, so righteous, so with us, so wise, so faithful, so full of grace, so steadfast, so loving is the Lord. Who is like me? Who is like me? I invite everyone to please stand and let's sing together.
Without end.
God be praised, my dear brothers and sisters.
We are an aging community, in other words. Huh? Okay. To those who are seated, can you give your titos and titas, lolos and lolas a big hand for the person willing to stay alive in the Lord? Magsimpo na po tayo lahat. Let's all be seated. Thank you. Cluster heads, new and old. Sector heads, new and old, stand up. And let's all stand up. And continue to be in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let's all raise our right hands. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for a loving community that we have. A community that has shaped us, nourished us, nurtured us to who we are today. A community that strives for holiness, that goes together, comes together in unity, in loving relationship with one another. We thank you, Lord God, for CFC, for changing our lives. And we thank you for all our leaders here, our full-time pastoral workers, who have expended the best years of their lives, the best times, the prime of their lives to serve you in couples for Christ. Today, we come to the throne room of your grace to ask for your graces and blessings for all our leaders, for all these young men and women, our full-time pastoral workers. We pray, Lord God, that you equip them, each one of them, with all the graces they need, so that their faith will be unwavering, will be steadfast, will be strong. In the face of challenges, Lord God, equip them. Not only that, Father, we pray that you make them bear fruit in the Spirit, that of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, and self-control, so that, Lord God, they can be like St. Francis of Assisi, who preached with his actions rather than his words. Father God, today is a new day, a new springtime, a jumping board to our trip to the Promised Land on our 40th year next year. Lord, accompany us on this journey. Accompany our families. When we stumble and fall, Father, pick us up. When we become tired, lazy, and seemingly busy doing other things, wake us up, Lord, and allow us to truly, truly grow in holiness. Every single day, every single moment, through thick and thin, through the joys and sufferings that will come our way. Accompany us, Lord, so that by the end of our lives, many years from now, hopefully, we will have the same joy that you have given to those who have trusted you, to those who have worked with you and for you, to attain heaven. Father, bless all of us today, and our families today. All these we pray, we thank you for, and ask in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in unity with the Holy Spirit, and with the intercession of our Mama Mary. Amen. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but but deliver us from evil.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now at the hour of our death.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
In
Amen.
the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. May God be praised, brothers and sisters.
You are here. tayong sa ating mga upuan, patayin o i-silent ang mga cellphone, at ihanda ang setne sa pagdiriwang ng banal na misa. Maraming salamat.
Kaya sana nga ba? Ay, dito pala.
Like our Father. My dear brothers and sisters, precisely because of this, owning this calling, accepting this vocation, desiring to live a life of holiness is the call of the moment. And you have heard that today. And we may ask how. Today we are made to reflect once more that as it has always been, the initiative is always done first by the Lord. God made a first move. God, after having created us, and then when our first parents did not obey God, God continued to reach out. And in this season, we know the beauty of God reaching out to us when eventually He sent His Son in our midst. My dear friends, in due time, the face of God is seen in Jesus. I say this because in this season, when we celebrate the baptism of the Lord, and next week, when we celebrate the feast of the Senior Santo Niño, then we continue to see the beautiful face of God in the face of the child Jesus. What do we do? The Gospel says, listen to Him. Another way of putting this is opening our hearts to God. In 1991, when we celebrated in this country the historical Second Plenary Council of the Philippines, we have defined or described the dynamics of faith. And it simply describes as God knocking at the door of our hearts and opening that door, telling the Lord, tuloy po kayo, is faith. And that is what we are called, what we are invited to do, to tell Jesus, yes, Lord, I open my heart to you. I often repeat, because most of the time, since December 25, even up to now, but lately we already took away the grip. But when we look at Jesus in the grip, we see Jesus there in the manger. And I often ask, why is Jesus in the manger? The simple answer is because nobody accepted them in their homes. There was no place in the inn. And so again, the point is, can we open our hearts to this child? Can we tell him, Lord, you do not deserve to be in the manger, but you should live in my heart. And that is faith, to open our hearts to God and to establish that relationship with God, because that is the foundation of our holiness. For the moment we have established that relationship, when we have made that act of faith, then we know something wonderful happens. Because I am a son in Cebu, allow me to make a very important connection between faith and the sacrament of faith, which is baptism. I say this because next year, our country will celebrate the 5th centenary of the beginnings of Christianity. And while we recall the first Mass on March 31, the first Easter Mass, all of us bishops are instructed to celebrate the Mass in our cathedrals next year. But on April 14, 2021, we will celebrate the first baptism in Cebu because Cebu was the site of the first baptism. I mentioned this because I said Cebu is the cradle of Christian civilization. But because of baptism, and again I go to the point, because of baptism, we belong to God. Many of us have been ninong or ninang during a baptismal rite. And at the end, or towards the end, after having poured water and anointed with oil and clothed in white, the priest says, this child has been born again, and he is now called a child of God. Meaning, he's not only the child of the parents, but the child of God. We belong to God. And that's why we have to be holy, because we belong to God. We are God's. That's the will of the Father. There's no other way. We are offered to God. Anything holy has connection, has relationship with God. And that's the reason why we have to live a holy life. In fact, to live that life we received when we were baptized. It's a beautiful reminder. There's no other way, because God will. By owning us, we walk to God. I would like to make a parenthetical remark because I may have no time to celebrate Mass with you until next year. You are all invited to come to Cebu at the culmination of the 5th centenary celebration of our country next year. I know we have many couples for Christ, so you can stay with families. Amen? Okay. Having said that our reason to be holy is because in baptism we belong to God. May I say again, this faith has to be deepened. And of course, the reflection of a great saint, Mother Teresa, makes us realize, and of course has explained to us how we deepen the faith, of course by our prayer life. But Mother Teresa said something like, our faith has to bear fruit in love, and love has to bear fruit in good works. Meaning, true faith can be seen in our loving relationship with God, in our loving relationship with one another. We know that, but this is a reminder so that we will never, ever miss the point. Faith has to bear fruit in love, and love has to bear fruit in good works. Before I end, allow me to point out what the Holy Father has also underlined, namely, he said, two enemies of holiness. And he made mention of two words that may appear strange, no, but actually we know its practice, namely Gnosticism and Pelagianism. What do they mean? The Pope says, those who are contemporary Gnostics are people who prefer the God without Christ and Christ without the church. This is the practice to turn the Christian experience into a set of intellectual experiences that distance us from the freshness of the gospel, and as St. Bonaventure says, the wisdom that is separated from mercy towards the neighbor. I know in the programs of Couples for Christ, many activities are being done to show that here we do not do just lip service, but we want to be seen indeed showing mercy to others. Amen? About Pelagianism, the Pope says they extol the human will. They believe that holiness is their work. They believe that it is because of their efforts. The point here is holiness is above all the grace of God and the work of the Spirit. Amen? We do the best we can, but when all is said and done, let us be humble to say, Lord, it is only with your grace, it is only with your help that I can be holy. Amen. My dear brothers and sisters, convinced that holiness is in Jesus and is the gift of the Spirit, as a bishop, I'd like to thank all of you, sisters and brothers in the couples for Christ, for what they have observed, as indeed a serious effort to live holiness, to live a holy life. In the programs that I have heard, so well expounded by my brother Paul. And of course, as I have seen in all of you, we know. And this is the thing I'd like now to proclaim. I can only praise God for what we have seen as our lay people awakening in their role, in their calling, and in their ministry in the church. How I often say, in the church, as so well expounded by no less than St. John Paul II, we appreciate the charism of the hierarchical church, but we also appreciate very much the charism of the charismatic church, which is what you have. Thank you so much. And in that regard, we say, both the hierarchical charism, the institutional charism, the charism that we share with the apostles are co-essential with the charism you have, with the charism given to the prophets in the church. I take the word co-essential, meaning both are important. And so again, I thank you for that. I'd like to end by underlining an important point. Namely, we know as we face the future, there will be challenges. We know there will be struggles. As we embrace the mission, we know there are difficulties. But even in the midst of all of this, the Pope says, I pray that that sense of joy, based on the fact that God is with us, will always be in our hearts and in our lips. In fact, we often say, holiness is happiness. And if we want to be happy, let's strive to be holy. Amen?
Amen.
St. Teresa puts it this way, Lord, from sour-faced saints, deliver us. I hope we all become saints, not with a sour face, but with a big smile. To all of you, congratulations and God bless.